And welcome once again to high school baseball, being presented by Parkview Sports Medicine Baseball Academy. We are at Concordia at Masucci Field, as it's a Summit Athletic Conference battle between the visiting Snider Panthers, who come in perfect in conference play with a 4-0 mark, 5-2 overall, against the Concordia Cadets, 3-3 overall, 1-1 in the conference. And our first pitch just plucked Brandon Logan right in the back. So Carson Rupley starts on the mound for the Cadets. In the defense, you've got Nolan Winnick at third, Jalen Campos at short, Jack Andrews at second, Brody Fisher at first. Drew Belschner is the backstop. In the outfield, left to right, Cooper Steele, Jack Belschner, and Zane Boltemeyer. Brandon Logan, of course, a multi-sport athlete, and he's going to continue to be a multi-sport athlete at Notre Dame.
And he is a competitive multi-sport athlete because he hated getting hit with that pitch. He wanted his hacks.
Big lead off of first. There he goes. And a curveball taken for a strike. And there's going to be no chance to throw out Brandon Logan. He steals second base. Almost automatic, Dean. You plunked him in the back. You gave him two bases.
Look at the lead he takes now off second.
0-1 on Camden Davis, the Panthers' second baseman. Bats from the right side against the right-hander Rupley. And the second pitch is a breaking ball that he waves at. And Rupley ahead 0-2.
I'll tell you what, his danger out there at second base of being a threat pulls the shortstop out of the hole and creates a big hole on the left side to hit.
Fastball just missed the inside corner. It's a good miss. Had a couple of breaking balls shown to Davis, and then tried to sneak one in on the inside corner with the heater. Rupley will work from the stretch, checks the runner at second. Checks again, and now the pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt, blocked nicely by Drew Belschner, and that will keep Brandon Logan out at second base. Even up the count, 2-2.
They are so aware of him, Brett. Unbelievable the way the shortstop is just basically playing short center field.
Yeah, huge gap between short and third, and the pitch is fouled out of play on the right side. And the count stays 2-2 on Davis. .550 average, couple of doubles, 5 knocked in so far this year for the Snider senior. Logan, who reached on a hit by pitch, takes his lead off second base. Couple of looks back at second, and the 2-2. That's a breaking ball that hits the dirt. And again, Belschner goes down and drops down with great fundamentals to block that at the plate. But it is a full count now on the second batter of the game for Snider here in the top of the first inning.
Jack Andrews, the second baseman for Concordia, is now cheating over to second base a little bit as well.
Hit hard to short, backhanded nicely by Campos. Throw to first in time. That retires Davis. But Brandon Logan was able to get down to third on the ball hit on the left side of the infield. That just shows the kind of lead that he had. A quick jump, a big lead. And that time, actually, the shift over towards second may have been an advantage for Campos, because that ball was hit hard toward the middle of the diamond, and Campos was there to play it.
Well, he actually seemed to be going back to the shortstop position and actually walked back into that ball.
First pitch, Landon Fry, line drive cleanly into center field for a base hit. Trotting in from third with the game's first run is Brandon Logan, and Landon Fry picks up his 11th RBI of the year, and he gives himself a 1-0 lead. Landon Fry will be the starting pitcher for the Panthers today. So 1 out, 1 in, and a runner at first. And the batter, a left-handed hitter, Isaiah Snavely. First pitch taken low for ball one. Snavely, a left-handed stick, hitting .455. A couple of home runs. Leads the Panthers with 11 knocked in.
You're going to have some lusty numbers there at the top of that order.
The pitch, good breaking ball. A hard snap down and in, and Snavely waves at it, evening up the count 1-1.
I think he was anticipating that being out over the plate a little bit more. He stepped into it and it almost hit him as he swung.
Ball and a strike, the stretch, and the pitch. A breaking ball, tried to backdoor it, missed it outside, and it's 2-1. Taking a look at the Panthers' order, we've already seen Logan, Davis, and Fry. Snavely at the plate. Brady Keck, Noah Hess, and Trevor Jarvis will be the next three. The pitch, check swing, called strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Snavely. Last 2 in the order for the Panthers, catcher Jack Moorman and right fielder Jaden Garcia. It's Landon Fry with the leadoff first. This one fouled the opposite way and out of play down the left field line. Snider wearing a gray pinstripe. Black letters and numbers with the yellow trim. The pitch grounded right back to the mound. Could be 2. Rupley to second for 1. Throw to first. Double play. 1-6-3. And that ends the top of the first inning. But Snider strikes. They take a 1-0 lead with the Cadets coming to bat here at Masucci Field. This is high school baseball presented by PSM Baseball Academy on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Once again, pleased to have the Dean of Sports, Dean Pantazi, alongside. I am Brett Rump, Adam Lundy, our studio producer. SAC Baseball here in late April. It is more like football weather. But we have confirmed it is baseball, and after a half inning of play, Snider has a 1-0 lead. And Snider now sends Landon Fry out to the mound. He would be considered the Panthers' ace. Multi-sport athlete, saw him as part of the Panthers football team. Defensively, Snider will line up with Brady Keck at third, Isaiah Snavely at short, Camden Davis at second, Noah Hess has first base covered. Out in the outfield, left to right, Trevor Jarvis, Brandon Logan, and Jaden Garcia, with Jack Moorman doing the catching and Landon Fry on the bump. Cadets lineup is going to start with shortstop Jalen Campos. Carson Rupley, the pitcher, bats second. Jack Belschner, their center fielder, bats third. Brody Fisher in the cleanup spot at first. Nolan Winokur, the third baseman, bats fifth. And the first pitch to Campos is a fastball, a little high, ball 1.
Good fortune today is it's not as windy as it has been in some other days. Because if it was windy and this temperature was as it is right now, this would not be comfortable.
Wind somewhere around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Not as gusty as we normally have had there.
The flag is limp.
Well, the flag there is, but the flag over at Ivy Tech blowing kind of briskly toward left to right. The pitch, and that is ripped on the ground and past shortstop Isaiah Snavely into center field, and a leadoff single for Jalen Campos.
Now up, number 10, the pitcher, Carson.
Could have thrown it better. I mean, he aimed that one perfectly up the middle.
Well, Rupley, after giving up a run in the top half of the inning, has a chance to help himself by stepping into the right-handed batter's box against Fry, the right-handed hurler for the Panthers. Rupley, a .312 hitter on the year. No extra base hits. Does have 4 RBI. Campos 4 for 4 in stolen bases. Has a pretty good lead off of first. The stretch by Fry, and the pitch is fouled out of play on the first base side. 0-1 on Rupley.
He's not giving any inkling that he's going to run, because that's not really a walking lead at first base.
The 0-1 pitch from Fry shows bunt and does bunt off the plate and foul. And now Rupley in an 0-2 hole. This is the first of 2 that will be played here at Masucci Field today. For those of you that aren't familiar with the geography of the Concordia Baseball Stadium or field, it is behind Zollner Stadium. Here comes the pitch. That's way outside. Total waste pitch that time that never came close. 1-2. It's Jalen Campos with the leadoff first. Rupley looks over and now goes to the stretch. The 1-2 offering to Rupley. Curveball. That's lined into center field, and that will get down in front of Brandon Logan. Back-to-back singles for the Cadets. Start things in the bottom of the first.
I thought that was going to carry a little bit, because you hit a fly ball to center field against Snider. It's dead.
Yeah, anything in the air has a high percentage of not hitting the ground, because Brandon Logan, if he gets a jump, he can really fly and cover a lot of real estate.
He picks up the ball so quickly.
Did the same thing in football.
Well, that's true. That's why he's a stud athlete.
So with 2 aboard is Jack Belshner, Cadets top hitter, hitting over 500 early in the season, a 579 average. He takes one to get a look at Fry, and it's a strike, 0-1. Belshner leading the Cadets with 10 knocked in. The stretch and the 0-1 pitch, that's outside with a fastball, and evens the count up 1-1. Concordia 3-3 on the year, 1-1 in the conference. Couple of games last Saturday against Southside, rained out. The pitch, and that hits him in the back, a curveball that just didn't break. And another hit batter, and Belshner aboard to load him up with nobody out. Bottom of the first inning, Concordia looking to overcome a 1-0 deficit here in the first.
Corner infielders are pinching it a little bit, trying to cut off that run at the plate.
The cleanup hitter is a left-handed stick, Brody Fisher, hitting 400. First pitch from Fry, and that is chopped over toward the Snider dugout on the first base side. Foul, and it's 0-1 on Fisher. Sometimes I see these swings, and the coach in me wants to say kind of pulled off on that one. That front side kind of cleared, and he had no chance at it on the off-speed pitch. Here comes the 0-1, and that's a fastball. Just missed the outside corner.
Did it again right there.
Yeah.
Gave away.
Yeah, he's got that front side pulling away from the ball.
Gives away part of the plate.
You get something up and in, he's going to crush it. But if you keep it away or off speed, he's going to have a tough time. That's a fastball, and that's the one he's got to hit. That's a fastball in the inside corner, a called strike. And Fry's ahead of the cleanup hitter, 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch outside. Looked like he tried to throw a changeup, kind of tailed away, and it was never over the plate.
Well, he also seemed to have taken note of the plate, how that front foot is flying out, because he kept it to the outside.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch, high in the air, in the infield. It's an infield fly rule, and the second baseman, Camden Davis, calls for it, makes the catch, and there's one away. Runners stay put with the bases loaded. Campos at third, Rupley at second, Belshner at first. And with one out, it's going to be Nolan Winokur stepping up for the Cadets. About the only way, other than a strikeout, the Cadets couldn't have gotten a run on the board and gotten it tied. Winokur, a .353 stick. And the first pitch, that's popped in the air, shallow right field.
He's got it.
Jaden Garcia comes over toward the line, makes the catch. Tagging at third is Campos. The throw is late, and Campos scores. We're all tied up, 1-1, bottom of the first.
He was going to have tough time getting that off a good throw because he had to back up right at the end before he grabbed the ball, and backing up and then trying to get a good throw ahead. Not a good combination.
Now up for the Cadets.
So runners advance from third and second, staying put at first base, Jack Belshner, but Rupley was able to get to third. So it's runners on the corners with 1 run in. We're tied at 1, 2 outs. Bottom of the first inning, and it's Drew Belshner, Cadets catcher, who will step in from the right-handed batter's box, 200 average. So Nolan Winokur credited with his 4th run batted in. And there's the fake to third, turn to first, diving back is Belshner without a throw.
That's the one I always laugh when everybody says, balk, balk, balk. It never is.
The set and the pitch. Fastball just a little high and outside on Belshner, 1-0. Rupley, the runner at third, Belshner, the runner at first, with Drew Belshner, the batter at the plate. The stretch by Fry. There goes the runner. The pitch is taken on the outside corner. I call that a strike or a ball. I never really got it. Ball 2 they put on the board. And the steal is completed out at second base. Belshner safe. He's now 7 for 7 in stolen bases. So you got 2 in scoring position, a 2-0 count. In a tie ball game, bottom of the first. Fry's pitch. Hit in the hole, over pass short. A diving attempt by Snavely. It goes into left field. Runners will go station to station, but another run comes in from third base, and the Cadets have answered with 2 runs of their own, still batting in the bottom of the first inning. They lead it 2-1 over the Panthers.
Just out of the reach of the shortstop, and this grass actually slowed that up, and he had a good shot at it, but just out of his reach.
So the roller into left, a base hit for Belschner, and that's the 3rd hit of the inning for the Cadets. And now you've got Zane Voltemeyer, the right fielder, with a 176 average, taking his stance in the batter's box. Righty-righty combination. Fastball on the outside corner paints the black, and Fry is ahead of Voltemeyer, 0-1.
You send a runner here? I would.
Well, it depends how much speed he's got. This pitch chopped and wide of first. Foul. This is one of those times where sometimes if you get behind in the count, like they are right now, you have a runner that goes halfway and stops. And if they get the throw to second, the runner at third's breaking home. If you don't think the hitter's going to bring him in, then you try to manufacture and scratch another run across. Still early in the ball game. Cadets leading at 2-1. Long set by Fry. Here comes the pitch. Taken, and Fry on the walk off the mound, but they call it ball outside.
He thought he had it.
Pretty close to where that first strike was called. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Voltemeyer. There goes the runner. Pitch is up and in. Swung on and missed. That's strike 3. And the side is retired. But the Cadets do get a couple of runs to jump on top. A 2-1 game after 1 complete here at Concordia between the Snider Panthers and the Concordia Cadets. Inning number 2 on the other side. This is high school baseball presented by PSM Baseball Academy on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. To the second inning we go here at Masucci Field, Concordia High School. The Cadets lead it 2-1. And Rupley begins the inning where he started the first inning. The first pitch plunks Brady Keck right in the back and a base runner aboard. It's deja vu all over again.
What you have is a very cold day, and I'm not sure they're grabbing the baseball to be able to get that breaking ball, do what they want to do. That didn't break at all. And you could see him look at his hand right afterwards.
So it slips out, and Keck gets first base, and it brings up Noah Hess. Righty-lefty combo here, and the pitch lifted in the air, and it will be out of play down the third base line. Hess, a .364 hitter, 3 doubles, has knocked in 6.
He stays right in there, Brett. Watch his feet. He's right there on top of that ball. There's no movement with the feet. He's not giving the plate away.
The 1-1 pitch from Rupley. And a timeout called at the plate by Noah Hess.
Kind of play him to pull a little bit. Center fielder just to the other side of second base, and pretty deep straightaway right in right field.
And a curveball is fouled out of play. Well, we've already seen Rupley go to a number of curveballs, and perhaps that dictates where the defense plays. Left fielder Cooper Steele playing very shallow and toward the line. That pitch misses. Or no, that's a strike. It's 2-2. Or no, that's a ball.
It's one of the two.
Yeah, it's 2. It all comes out in the wash.
The
2 balls, 2
The choices
strikes.
are limited.
After Hess, you've got Trevor Jarvis, Jack Moorman, and Jaden Garcia. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball, chopped left side of the infield. Third baseman Nolan Winokur, and he threw it away at first. Only had 1 play, and it bounced past Brody Fisher. And that's going to allow the runners to advance to second and third. An error on third baseman Nolan Winokur, and now the Panthers have a chance to get back on top.
Well, when you get loose dirt around first base, the first baseman is praying that he gets a good hop, and he didn't get one there.
Yeah, the slow chopper to third. Winokur had no choice but to go for the play at first and skipped it on one bounce past Fisher. So now you've got second and third, and the batter's Trevor Jarvis, senior left fielder. The first pitch from Rupley, swung on and missed. Looked like a slider, had a little cut to it.
This is where Snider has to jump on this opportunity because they've got two base runners on they probably shouldn't have had.
2-1, Cadets lead, top of the second, and nobody out. Pitch right back to us. Although there is a fence that keeps us from getting any souvenirs.
We'd have to give it back anyway.
Yeah, I know. High school baseball. Got to return it to the dugout. It's 0-2. And the pitch lifted in the air, shallow right field. Camping under it is Boltemeyer. He'll make the catch. Tagging at third is Keck, and there'll be no play. Keck will come in to tie up the score 2-2. Sacrifice fly for Trevor Jarvis, and it's all even here in the top of the second inning.
Two things on that. He had to settle himself to make the play, and he couldn't really get a throw behind it. And on top of that, I think he's throwing it into the wind, and I would imagine that knocked it down a little bit.
Kind of surprised Hess wasn't able to tag and get to third, but Hess still out at second. And with one out, it's Jack Moorman, 294 average, junior catcher. And time is called at the plate before he sees a pitch.
See, that wind, that left flag in center field is kind of a not a good indicator because the trees buffet it, really.
Yeah.
But you're right about the one over by Ivy Tech. It's not galing, but it's...
Well, I can hear the wind blowing through our crowd mic, which is out in the elements, and so you know there's some gust blowing. 1-0 pitch. Fastball low and outside, 2-0 for Moorman. Noah Hess reached on an error. He's at second base. One out and the pitch. And it's 3-0. Down and outside on a fastball, and the number 8 hitter has a advantage count. First base open, there's one out, and the 3-0 pitch taking all the way, a fastball upstairs, ball 4. So far this inning, Panthers with a run across and 2 aboard, and they do not have a hit. Hit by pitch, an error, a sacrifice fly, and a walk. They got everything but a base hit covered. So with one out, runners at first and second, Concordia got a ground ball double play to end the first. Looking for another one here with number 9 hitter Jaden Garcia in the batter's box. Pitch on the inside corner called strike 1. 0-1 on Garcia.
They do not want to face the on-deck hitter with the bases loaded.
Brandon Logan will get a second chance, and I imagine he's got a little attitude stepping in after being hit by a pitch on the first pitch of the ball game. That pitch is fouled out of play, and Rupley is ahead 0-2. Well, and that's one of the reasons, too, that walk is costly, because you allow Logan to have a chance to come up here in the second. The 0-2 pitch, big breaking ball, sweeps down and outside. Catcher Drew Belshner had to slide with the backhand to reach that. Hess, the runner at second, Moorman at first. The stretch by Rupley. The 1-2 to Garcia. Another breaking ball that's off the plate, wide outside. 2-2. Snider running the top of the first. Cadets answered with 2 in the bottom half of the frame. Panthers with a run across here, and this one hit the opposite way, just kind of reaches out and flails it in between first and second, and it doesn't even get to the outfield. Second baseman Jack Andrews was able to chase the ball down, but it's an infield base hit for Garcia, just reaching out and protecting, and he got enough of it to put it kind of in no man's land in the infield, and now the bases are loaded, Dean. The situation you said Rupley didn't want to face, he's got it in front of him, and that's the first hit of the inning. Bases full, Brandon Logan at the plate, and he almost got hit by a breaking ball again. That one almost head-hunting high and inside on Logan. Scored the Panthers' run back in the first. Hit by a pitch, stole a base. Came in on a base hit by Landon Fry. And he just ripped one toward the right center field gap, and that one splitting the outfield and rolling all the way to the warning track. 1 run is in, 2 runs are in. Rounding third is Garcia. He's going to be waved home. He's going to score. And standing at third with a bases clearing triple is Brandon Logan, and the Panthers, with 4 across here in the second, have opened up a 5-2 lead.
As advertised, Brandon Logan can just flat out rake it. And he hit that one. That's the hardest hit ball we've had all day. And that one all get carried a low line, but it only one hopped or 2 hopped the fence, and that's a good poke right there to get it all the way back there. But it was really crocked.
So we've got a visit to the mound for Concordia. And you've got Logan now at third base for Camden Davis, second time through the order here in the the top of the second inning. For Logan, those 3 RBIs gives him 12 on the year. Takes over the team lead.
Considering they played 7 games, that's not bad.
Yeah. Puts Logan's batting average above 400. Rupley goes to the stretch, and the first pitch to Davis, lifted right field. Drifting under it, Boltemeyer, but that's going to easily allow Brandon Logan to tag up and come home. And he scores the 5th run of the inning, 6th run of the game for Snider. They lead it 6-2. Sacrifice fly for Snider, second baseman, senior Camden Davis. Second sacrifice fly of the inning for the Panthers, and both of them to right field. First pitch to Landon Fry. It's taken for a ball.
It's an adventure to play right field today, the way they're having to do it. That wind is blowing stuff out there, and when they're circling a lot trying to get into those fly balls to make sure they're
the wind is kind of pushing left to right, and so their first reaction, it didn't sound like great contact, and you thought it was going to be shallow, but it actually made it all the way out to medium depth. And we have, what do we have?
Looked like a fair ball.
Yeah, it looked like it got hit off the end of the bat and squirted right down the first base line. And the first base umpire had his hands up saying it was foul. From our angle, it didn't look like it went off anybody. He said, I think he said it went off his hip. And Matt Urban's out of the Concordia dugout. He wants to know exactly what's going on.
I'd be surprised by that because that ball still got down the line pretty quickly. And if it had bounced off his body, it wouldn't have gone that fast. But he's 3 feet away, and we're 60.
So it is now a 1-1 count. 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the second inning. 5 runs across already for the Panthers. That is ripped foul down the third base line.
Not by a lot. They're dialed in on him now a little bit.
Yeah, second time through. They're kind of figuring out Carson Rupley. This the first of 2 here at Concordia between these 2 squads. The full windup and the 1-2 pitch. That's grounded on 1 hop to third. Winokur. The throw. Again, he skips it to the first baseman, and Fisher can't handle it. And that one may have actually skipped up and caught him in the face. I think that got him right square in the face on the skip, on that 1 hop.
Had loose dirt around first base. Really tough for a first baseman to deal with.
Second ball that Winokur's thrown across the diamond from third to first that he short hopped his first baseman, and it will be the second error of the inning on Winokur. So the inning will continue.
Now up, number 15, Isaiah.
Cleanup hitter Isaiah Snavely. 455 average coming into the game, grounded into a 1-6-3 double play. His only plate appearance back in the first.
And he's the 9th man to bat in the inning.
So in my book, they've batted around. Some people think the next guy has to come up to make it to bat around an inning. I think if all 9 batters batting around. This one in fouled ground over on the third base side. Winokur gives chase, but he can't get to it. A lot of area in foul territory.
Not this much down the first base line.
No, it's a little tighter on the first base line, but over on that third base side, that dugout a good 60 feet from the baseline. So a lot of ground to cover, and Winokur just couldn't chase it down before it came back to earth.
And the wind probably gave him a half decent chance to do it because it blew it back to him a little bit.
1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch, breaking ball. It's in the dirt. It's blocked at the plate, but the runner goes, and Fry is going to be in the second base.
He was going to be safe anyway because he broke with the pitch.
Yeah, so we'll give him a stolen base. No chance of making a play, but now in scoring position with 2 outs, and the count 2-1 on Snavely. The pitch. That is hit hard to center, but it is right at Jack Belschner. And the center fielder makes the catch. And finally, the side is retired. 9 come to the plate here in the top of the second for the Snider Panthers. They get a couple of errors. There's a hit by pitch, a walk, and the Panthers get a couple of big hits, including the bases clearing, bases loaded triple by Brandon Logan. After 1.5, 6-2, Panthers lead it over the Concordia Cadets on the PSM Baseball High School Baseball Game of the Week. 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Concordia finds themselves down 6-2, coming to bat here in the bottom of the second inning. Hitters 8, 9, and 1 to face Landon Fry in the first pitch to Jack Andrews. Is low and outside for ball 1. The windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss.
Took a little something off of that one.
Evens things up. A ball and a strike. Andrews, senior infielder, takes that one for a strike. It evens the count 1-1.
This opens the book
1-2.
Opens the book a little bit more for the Snider pitcher because with that lead, you can pretty much rear back and fire it instead of trying to be cute.
Breaking balls wide outside.
If you choose to go that route.
Andrews with a 118 average. The 2-2 pitch. And that paints the black on the outside corner and caught Andrews looking. Back-to-back strikeouts. One to end the first and another to start the second for Landon Fry. He had a rough start. A couple of singles and a hit by pitch in the first 3 batters of the game for the Cadets in the bottom of the first. And now the hitter is number 9 stick, Cooper Steele. He fouls the first pitch out of play. It's 0-1.
My bet would be that before Fry went this inning, his coaches told him, throw strikes.
Yeah.
Don't be cute. Throw strikes.
The 0-1. And that's outside.
So much for that.
It's kind of an interesting windup for Fry. He does kind of step toward first with that plant leg, that front leg. This one grounded to second. Scooped up by Camden Davis and an accurate throw to first. And that will retire Cooper Steele on a 4-3 ground out. 2 away.
Next up for the Cadets, number 8, Jalen Campos.
So the Cadets turn it over to the back to the start of the lineup. The top of the lineup, Jalen Campos, who got a single back in the first. Improved on his .429 average. Righty matchup, and the pitch just a little low, ball 1. Working quickly, Fry. Chopped foul, third base side. Count evens up 1-1 on Campos. Campos, a senior infielder, 5'9", 170-pounder. Fry brings the 1-1. Breaking ball. Good take down and away. That ball hung in the zone for a long time before it finally had a late break. down and out of the zone, and Campos laid off. 2-1. Pitch, swing, and a miss. Put that right over the outside corner. Two balls, two strikes. Fry with the delivery. Breaking ball, and again it breaks down and away.
I think he just went back under the rubber and said, okay, number one's coming.
Yeah. The 3-2. And he went to a curveball and got it up and in. Just doesn't quite have the feel of that breaking ball.
Every time you notice it, when he misses with the breaking ball, he looks at the hand. Okay, why didn't that work?
2-out walk. Campos aboard for Carson Rupley. Panthers leading it 6-2. We're in the bottom of the second. Rupley hitting in the 2 spot in the Concordia order. Had a base hit his first time up, and he takes a fastball right down the middle.
Kind of surprised that wasn't with the last pitch he threw to the previous batter.
Got the 4-run lead to work with. The set and the pitch. That one got in on the hands on Rupley, and he fought it off, fouled it out of play, right side. And Fry's ahead of his counterpart. 0-2.
Now you can play a little bit with the curveball, see if it'll work, because you got some pitches to use.
Fry, a check of the runner over at first, goes to the stretch and the pitch. And he goes to the breaking ball, and that is a swing and a miss from Rupley as he chased one down and away. And the strikeout retires the side. Concordia gets a base runner on a 2-out walk, but they leave him stranded. So after 2 complete, it's Snider 6, Concordia 2 on the PSM Baseball High School Game of the Week on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Moving to the third inning here at Concordia High School. Brett Rump with Dean Pantazi. Adam Lundy, our studio producer. Snider will send up the same part of the order they sent up in the second because they batted around in the second
all the way
inning.
Around, yeah.
So it's hitters 5, 6, and 7, starting with Brady Keck, who got hit by a pitch on the very first offering from Carson Rupley, who starts his third inning of work. Keck, a 300 average. Rupley's first pitch, that one's in there for a strike at the knees on the inside corner, 0-1. Well, both teams have 3 hits, but the Panthers have been able to put up 6 runs, while the Cadets just 2. Big breaking ball, 12-6. The bottom fell out, a swing and a miss from Keck, and he is in an 0-2 hole. Rupley gets the sign and the 0-2. Breaking ball, chopped the opposite way, and it goes through the hole into right field. That's not the location that Rupley wants to put that 0-2 breaker. Up in the zone, a little bit in.
17, Noah Hess.
That's the one you want to get down and away, maybe even have it break off the plate. But Keck with good job 2-strike hitting. He's aboard with a base hit, 4th hit of the game for the Panthers. And with nobody out, Noah Hess steps into the left-handed batter's box. Throw to first. Diving back safely is Keck. The pitch shows bunt, and it's a good one. Right out in front of the plate. Having to field it is Rupley off the mound. Throw to first in time, but a good sacrifice by Noah Hess. And on to second base is Brady Keck.
Number 10, Trevor.
1 out. Runner in scoring position.
Concordia really wants to hold it right here. You don't want to fall any further behind.
Cadets do have somebody up and throwing in their bullpen. Rupley, a check of the runner at second. And the pitch. Fastball outside, ball 1. Trevor Jarvis hit a sacrifice fly to right to knock in a run. His 7th ribby of the year back in the second inning. We're in the top of the third. 6-2 Panthers. 2-0. Curveball down and away. Brady Keck with a base hit to right started the inning. He's now at second. 1 away. And the 2-0 is down and outside. It's 3-0. The stretch by Rupley and the 3-0 pitch. That one catches the corner, and it's 3-1. Senior left fielder Trevor Jarvis with a hitter's count, 3-1, and the pitch. And that is hit hard left side past a diving Jalen Campos into left field. Rounding third, waved home is Keck. The play at the plate, and it's not in time. It bounces away from Drew Belshner, the Concordia catcher. And Keck comes in, an RBI single by Trevor Jarvis. He'll take second on that throw home, but it's now a 7-2 lead for the Panthers.
Number 8, Jack Morgan.
Second RBI of the game for Jarvis. Concordia put in new grass last year, and it still hasn't really fully taken. So, that kind of hit off what is seemingly a lip. There's a pitch that gets past Belshner, with the batter being Jack Moorman. Heading down to third on the pass ball is Trevor Jarvis. And I think that throw from left took a funny hop on Belshner, the catcher.
Well, like you said, the grass is very uneven, and you don't know what it's hitting and what direction it's going to go off on.
Hit a clump of dirt or a spot of dirt or a clump of grass. It's 1-1, and the pitch is down and out, 2-1.
This might be a key batter here. Ripley needs to get this guy.
Well, whoever was throwing in the bullpen has just jogged into the dugout. I don't know if that means he's ready to go.
That would be my guess.
Pitch inside, 3-1 now on Moorman, who walked back in the second. Jarvis, the runner at third, and the 3-1 swung on and missed. One out, top of the third. Panthers leading at 7-2. The stretch, the payoff, low and outside, ball 4. Throw down to third, and back is Jarvis. That is the second walk issued by Rupley. He's also hit a couple of batters.
Number 7, Jaden Garcia.
Wagner made a nice play at third base. I thought that was going to hit the runner and go carrying off somewhere, and he stayed with the ball, and that ball and that runner were coming at the same place.
Runners on the corners. There's one away, and the batter is number 9 hitter Jaden Garcia. Throw to first, and Moorman is back. Actually, I think trying to see if that's Moorman or if he's got a runner. Looks like there's a runner, and then the runner goes halfway to second, stops. The throw goes to second, gets cut off, and then they turn and try to throw to second. They throw it to center field. Now it's a runner coming in from third, and heading on to third is the original base stealer who's running in Moorman's spot. And I believe that is Tavis Rowe, a senior who's running for the catcher. Well, Rowe did just what we talked about last inning, Dean. He ran halfway to second, stopped. Concordia cut the throw off on the first and third, but then the second baseman tried to turn and make that short throw back to second base and just shot it right through to center field.
That's ideally where you want one of your guys to assess the situation, hold the ball up, and run it into the infield.
Yeah.
Cut the damage.
So Moorman ends up at third base. It's the third error of the game for the Cadets. This pitch, a fastball upstairs, and it's now 3-0 on the hitter. Number 9 hitter, Jaden Garcia.
And if Ripley doesn't get him, he will not face Logan.
3-0's in there.
Just going to throw that prediction out there.
Top of the third, 8-2. Panthers with the lead, and swing and a miss. Might have extended. That pitch might have been off the outside corner, and Garcia chased it. It's 3-2. on Garcia. Tavis Rowe takes the lead off third. Grounder, middle of the diamond, over his shortstop, Jalen Campos. Quick throw to first in time. But it is a productive ground out because another runner comes in from third. Mormon scores, making it 9-2. That is 8 straight runs scored by the Panthers after Concordia took a 2-1 lead, bottom of the first, and out of the dugout is Matt Urban. And I think you're right, Dean. I think we might see a pitching change.
You got to cut the damage, Brett. And it's getting a little serious right now because you're flirting with a lead that might be insurmountable, and you don't want to get to that point. And this is a guy that could really make it that way.
Trotting in is going to be, for the Cadets, a non-rostered player. They do that to us. Number 3 comes in, and he's not on the roster. Nobody in the press box knows who number 3 is, but he's going to be the relief pitcher for the Cadets. Do the lineup cards have the alternates or the?
They're investigating. They're going to investigate for us.
This guy bought a ticket, and now he's pitching. So we're doing some Braden Brett Miller, a freshman
who is listed as a pitcher when he's in there.
As a freshman pitcher who's a part of the reserve roster, but he's making a varsity appearance here against the 5-2 Snider Panthers. So welcome to varsity baseball, Braden Brett Miller.
And look who he gets to face first.
Yeah, really welcome to varsity baseball. Brandon Logan is going to step into the batter's box.
And like any good hitter, good athlete in this sport, Brandon Logan is sitting there with a new pitcher and timing him in the on-deck circle.
So Brett Miller, a freshman right-hander, listed at 5'9", 175 on the JV roster. And Concordia trailing 9-2 in the top of the third inning. Well, we're going to be seeing these Panthers a couple of more times this year.
Rare is there a year that Snider doesn't put out a good team.
Of course, former coach Andrew Owen, who coached the Panthers to a state championship, was a teammate of mine here at Concordia. So Brandon Logan is ready, and the first pitch is hit in the air right side, and it will be pushed out of play. Two outs. We're in the bottom of the third, and the pitch grounded into the hole and into center or left field. And Logan with his second hit of the game.
Been on base 3 times.
Hit by a pitch, a bases loaded triple, and now a single, which for Logan is like giving him a double, although you wonder, will he be as aggressive with a 9-2 ball game? But for Logan, I don't know if there's a score that would slow him down. The stretch, and there goes Logan. And the pitch gets past the catcher. Logan stopped at second, so he's not going to go any further, but it's another stolen base, his second of the game for Brandon Logan.
He was going before the release of the pitch.
Yeah, he had that timed and took advantage of the freshman, who probably is right now in a little bit of a haze getting thrown into this situation. It's 1-0 on Camden Davis, and a turn to second. Logan dives back with no throw.
Because there was no cover.
Yeah, nobody covering the bag. Davis ground out to short and a sacrifice fly to right. Here's the pitch, and a breaking ball drops in. And that'll even things up 1-1 on the Snider second baseman.
Wouldn't be surprising if we get a more favorable count on the Snider hitters that Logan doesn't take off again.
1 ball, 1 strike. And again, the turn and look at second base. Nobody at the bag, so he holds on to it. Logan that time standing up. 3 runs are already in here in the top of the third. Snider leads at 9-2, and the 1-1 high and inside, low bridge. And it's 2 balls and a strike on Davis. A great day, temperatures in the upper 40s when we got started, hoping to see digits that start with a 5 sometime later. And a pitch high and inside. It's now 3-1 on Davis.
I'm not sure we'll see that during the duration of this game.
Might not feel like it. Braden Brett Miller goes to the stretch and brings the 3-1 pitch. And off and running is Logan. He got a head start. He timed the look from Brett Miller to second, then took off before Brett Miller even started his delivery to the plate. It's another stolen base for Brandon Logan. Now he's down at third with his 3rd stolen base of the game. 3-2 pitch, and that's high, ball 4. And Davis trots down to first, put runners on the corners with 2 outs.
You get the feeling that if this gets a little more out of hand, that Brett Miller will be the guy that is going to be there for the duration.
Yeah,
not to burn another pitcher.
I mean, unfortunately, Brett Miller might be the sacrificial lamb, so to speak. He's the guy that may have to take the brunt of this so that Concordia can save their pitching for the second game of this doubleheader.
The equivalent of using a position player.
Yeah. So 2 outs and a ball grounded to first, and Fry is retired. First baseman Brody Fisher unassisted. He'll take it himself, and that will finally end the Snider third. But the Panthers get 3 more runs across. They now lead at 9-2 over the Concordia Cadets through 2.5 here at Masucci Field. You're listening to high school baseball being presented by PSM Baseball Academy on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. PSM Baseball, where MLB experience meets the next future stars. You can get personalized training from former Major Leaguer Josh Van Meter. Just contact PSM Baseball. As we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, it is a 9-2 Snider lead. And the first pitch bunted, foul, third base side by Jack Belschner. Belschner hit by a pitch back in the first inning. Came in hitting .579. Well, Concordia had a brief lead after 1. It was 2-1 Cadets, but 8 straight scored by the Panthers. This game's on the verge of being a blowout. Another ball bunted foul.
Well, again, it comes back to Concordia has allowed Snider to have some base runners by charity, for lack of a better term.
Some walks, a couple of hit by pitch, a couple of errors. Here's the pitch. Fastball, and he just missed a little high. A ball and 2 strikes on Belschner. So hitters 3, 4, and 5 here in the inning. If the Cadets want to stay in this game, they're going to have to do something probably here in the bottom of the 3rd. That pitch fouled back into the screen as Belschner just reached out to protect the outside corner on a breaking ball.
He had a tough pitch. He fouled off a tough pitch to put a contact on.
And another hard breaking ball, but that one misses well off the outside corner. It's 2-2.
Fry is upset with that one. I think he really wanted to paint the corner with that one. He was aiming for that corner and hit the dirt. It wasn't the pitch he wanted to throw.
Belschner, a right-handed hitter, waits for the 2-2 pitch, a breaking ball that almost hit him. And from 0-2 to 3-2. The wind-up from Fry and the pitch. And he goes to a 3-2 breaking ball and a swing and a miss by Belschner. Belschner strikes out, starting things in the bottom of the 3rd for the Cadets.
Well, one of the things that this advantage for Snider gives for the pitcher Fry is he can experiment. He can throw a couple of things that maybe he's not too confident of, and maybe he can get his confidence back that he can throw them a little better when he's sitting on a 7-run lead.
It's kind of funny seeing that 3-2 curveball here at Masucci Field as Fisher takes the first one high and outside. Of course, Jack Masucci with so many years leading this Concordia program, and when I was a young pitcher here with the Cadets, he told me that if you want to be great, you perfect a 3-2 curveball, and you learn how to be able to throw that 3-2 breaking pitch, because a high school hitter probably will never touch it. And so that was kind of my mission, and maybe even a little bit of my specialty when I pitched, because I certainly had a very hittable fastball. So I knew better than to just tee it up on 3-2. Pitch fouled at the plate by Fisher evens the count up 1-1. And that time you saw Landon Fry throw that 3-2 breaker, and he struck out a really good hitter in Jack Belshner. 1 out, base is empty. The 1-1 pitch, and it's popped in the air. Stays on the infield. Calling for it is shortstop Isaiah Snavely. He'll make the catch, and there's 2 away.
Now up number 6, Nolan Winokur.
So it's up to Nolan Winokur to keep the inning alive for the Cadets. Got both their runs back in the first inning. In fact, it was produced by the first couple of guys that got up there. First pitch to Winokur, fastball high and inside. Little chin music for Winokur as he backs off. And it's 1-0. Winokur did knock in a run with a sacrifice fly. There's a fastball that pops the outside corner. Evens the count up on Winokur, 1-1. Pitch, grounded, second base. Camden Davis, and he bobbled it, and it's an error on Davis, and that's going to keep the inning going for the Cadets.
Oh, there it hit a spot where there's a lot of loose dirt around the second base position. Hit clip, didn't bounce the way he thought it was going to bounce.
Well, if there's any dirt that's been chopped up by the cleats, he can blame his own offense, because they're the ones that have been rounding the bases most of the day. But it's an error on the second baseman, an E4. Winokur aboard at first, and with 2 outs, it's Drew Belshner. Belshner, right-handed hitter against the right-handed hurler Landon Fry, and that pitch in for a strike, 0-1.
Now, at the higher levels, this is where you will see grounds crews going out and drag the field.
Yeah.
To avoid those kind of loose dirt situations for the guys who are in the higher levels.
Well, and remember, the rain yesterday kind of hardened the surface, and then it chopped up, and it clumps it a little bit because of yesterday's rain. The 0-1 pitch, fastball right on the outside corner. Really good pitch for strike 2.
I think he's probably sort of gone into the I'm not messing around mode here.
Winokur, the leadoff first, an 0-2 count on Drew Belshner, and the pitch, and that just misses the outside corner. Throw behind the runner at first, and he slides back safely. Close play on that quick throw. Mormon to Hess covering first. They almost got Winokur. One ball, 2 strikes. Winokur, the leadoff first. Belshner waits at the plate. The stretch and the pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. And the second strikeout of the inning for Landon Fry. And it keeps it right where it's at. No runs, a base runner on a 2-out error. 1 runner left on base. Through 3 complete here at Concordia. It's Snider 9, Cadets 2 on the PSM Baseball Game of the Week on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. On a 48-degree day here at Concordia, it's Masucci Field, and through 3 innings, the Cadets trailing the Snider Panthers 9-2. Brett Rump with Dean Pantazi. Adam Lundy, our studio producer. Snider with 5 runs in the second, added 3 more in the third to flip what was a 2-1 Concordia lead after 1. And the Panthers will be sending up hitters 4, 5, and 6 to face the freshman reliever Braden Brattmiller. Came on in the middle of the last inning. And Snavely steps in. The right-handed freshman delivers, and it's high and outside ball 1 to the left-handed hitter Isaiah Snavely, who grounded into a double play to end the first and hit one on the button right at center fielder Jack Belshner his last time up. in the second. That pitch fouled out of play. And it's even 1 ball, 1 strike on Snavely. Just a sophomore. Came in hitting .455 on the year. The 1-1. Slow breaking ball. That's chopped to first and handled by himself by Brody Fisher. 3 unassisted, and there's 1 away.
Fisher, the benefactor of 2 really nice Sunday hops. And it's kept it off the infield ground. If he kept it on the infield dirt, you got a better chance of catching it today.
And Fisher's got a pretty good sized body, too, so if he needs to block it, he's a pretty good sized kid. Here comes the pitch to Brady Keck, and that is taken low for ball 1. Now, Keck got hit by a pitch in the second, reached on a single, leading off the third, and he has scored both times. This time he fists one into shallow left, and that's going to drop. Just muscled it from the bat handle and got it over the infield and in front of left fielder Cooper Steele. It is the second hit of the game for Keck, and the third time he's aboard with 1 out here in the fourth.
It almost looked like that butt hit the bat maybe an inch above his hands.
So 1 out, 1 on for Noah Hess. And a throw to first, but easily diving back is Brady Keck.
Now, Snider is warming up some people down the first base line, and I kind of wonder if they're just keeping guys warm or getting somebody ready for the second game.
Here's the pitch, and that is lifted deep to right field. Bultemeyer back, looking up, and it's off the wall. Rounding third is Keck. He's coming to the plate. He's going to score without a play, and it's an RBI double for Noah Hess. And the Panthers now in double digits. They lead it 10-2 with 1 out here in the top of the fourth. The 4th double of the year for Noah Hess. The 8th run batted in, his 2nd of the game. And now the batter is Trevor Jarvis. Fastball catches the corner, strike 1. Panthers now with 10 runs on 8 hits. The set and the pitch. It's in the dirt, blocked at the plate by Drew Belshner. And it's 2-1 now on Jarvis. Hess at second. 1 run in, 1 out. The pitch. Called strike inside corner. Jarvis a sac fly and a single so far, and the curveball's ripped down the third base line past a diving Nolan Winokur. It heads down the left field line, and it's fielded out there by left fielder Cooper Steele, but rounding second and coming in to score without a play is Noah Hess. And that's going to be a double for Trevor Jarvis, who stays hot. 2 hits, a sacrifice fly, and the Panthers now lead it 11-2. Back-to-back doubles. Went with that 2-strike breaking ball and gave it too much of the plate, and Jarvis just ripped it down the left field line. Fastball's a little inside. 1-0 on Jack Mormon. Pair of walks. But as is often the case, he scored both times he's reached base. Brett Miller checks the runner, throws home, and it's in the air, right field. Drifting toward the line, the wind is pushing it, and Bultemeyer can't get to it. The wind just got it out of his reach, and now coming around third to score is Jarvis, and heading to second base is Mormon, and the doubles parade continues here for the Panthers in the 4th inning. Wind certainly a factor on that one, Dean, as that ball went up in the air. the wind just kept pushing it closer and closer to the line, and it seemed the more Boltemeyer ran, the further the ball was getting away from him.
Anytime, Brett, you see an outfielder turn his back and go the other way, there's trouble. Here's another one that's going that way.
Yeah, that one, though, is going to just fall into foul territory.
He just got turned around. That wind is doing some nasty things as it goes out to right field.
But a 15-mile-per-hour wind from left to right. Jaden Garcia at the plate with an 0-1 count. The pitch, slow curveball, stays high. And it evens things up 1-1 on the number 9 hitter in the Panthers order, Jaden Garcia. A single, run scored in the second, a strikeout in the third. The set by Brett Miller and the pitch. Fouled straight back. Now, Carson Rupley was the starter. He got through 2 2/3 before Brett Miller came into the game last inning. The set and the 1-2 pitch in the dirt, and that will squirt past Belschner. Heading down to third on the wild pitch is Tavis Rowe, who's running for Mormon. And now you've got a runner at third with a 2-2 count on Garcia. Panthers up by 10. You start to think about the mercy rule at this point. Got to get through 5. It's a scheduled 7-inning game. The pitch, and that's chopped slowly down the first base line, and a lot of spin. It will work its way into foul territory. Spinning like a top.
And then it probably hit one of those clumps of dirt and even turned right a little bit more.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Garcia, with Travis Rowe, the runner down at third, the courtesy runner. Snider, 1 run in the first, 5 in the second, 3 more in the third, and 3 across already here in the top of the fourth. The 2-2. Grounded up the middle and past a diving shortstop, Jalen Campos, into center field. And trotting in from third, Tavis Rowe, with the Panthers' 13th run of the ball game. And that's also the Panthers' 5th straight hit. A single, 3 straight doubles, and another single, knocking in Tavis Rowe from third. And it's back to the top of the order with Brandon Logan. Talk about streaks. Logan hit by a pitch, scored a run in the first. A triple that cleared the bases with the bases loaded in the second, and a single in the third. Batting for the 4th time here in the 4th inning, and he'll take a fastball at the top of the zone for strike 1.
I am surprised he didn't wail at that one. It looked like it was one that he could get a hold of.
Well, Logan's such a smart hitter, going up there looking for a particular pitch on that first delivery. Probably wasn't what he expected, because remember, his first couple of times he saw breaking balls to start his at-bats.
He also knows he's facing a young pitcher, and that's his advantage, and he's going to take advantage of it.
Takes a pitch up high, and another one is up high. It's now 2-1 on Logan. Garcia, the runner at first. We've got 1 out. Top of the 4th, Panthers up 13-2. The pitch, big swing, and he foul-tipped it into the glove of Belschner. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And I think this is just a situation where Logan's got to be able to time Brett Miller. Brett Miller's not overpowering, just a freshman. And that pitch bounces in the dirt. It's gone the distance for Logan. Garcia at first. Logan at the plate. 1 out. Top of the 4th. The pitch. And that's a little upstairs. So it is a 1-out walk for Logan, and he reaches for the 4th time in the game.
This is an education game for the young freshman Brad Miller. I mean, this is where, okay, you're out there now. This is combat is like. This is what the real thing is like. His coaches are saying, take advantage of it, learn.
Well, with this being the first game of a doubleheader, you've got to leave him out there in probably situations you'd like to go to the bullpen, but somebody's got to
eat innings.
Eat innings, yeah. And unfortunately for Brad Miller, it's a tough path against a good Snider club, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight have reached against the freshman. Davis fouls the first pitch out of play. It's 0-1. Garcia, the leadoff second. Logan, the leadoff first. And the 0-1 pitch. And that is hit the opposite way to right, and moving over to his right, making the catch, is Boltemeyer. Nobody will advance. Two-way.
Boltemeyer was probably relieved. That was one that just had a nice, straight, normal trajectory and did no dancing up there in that wind.
Yeah. And actually hit a little bit to his right.
So it came back to him.
So it came back to him a little bit. 2 outs, and the batter is Landon Fry. Second inning of the day, where the Panthers have sent 9 to the plate, and that ball is hit high, deep to center. Drifting back is Belschner, and he will make the catch to retire the side. Well, the Panthers strike again. This time 4 come across on 5 hits. Correction. Nope, 5 hits. They also reached via a walk and stranded a couple. So after 3.5 innings here at Concordia, the 10-run rule could be looming. Snider leads it 13-2 over the Concordia Cadets, and this is high school baseball presented by PSM Baseball Academy on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Bottom of the 4th, and the Cadets trail it 13-2 to the Snider Panthers. Bottom of 3rd of the order for the Cadets to face Landon Fry, and the first hitter, Zane Boltemeyer, takes a pitch up and in for ball 1. The 1-0. Fastball misses down and away. 2-0.
I think you might see Fry throwing a lot more fastballs now. Just keep the stress off the arm and just rear back and fire. Your lead is 11 runs.
Chopper to third, and it's a fair ball, and a long throw is in time. What a job by Brady Keck. Had to charge it, had to backhand it, and then had to make a good, strong throw over to Noah Hess at first and retire Zane Boltemeyer on a 5-3 putout.
And give Hess some credit, too, because he stuck his glove down into that dirt, not knowing whether he was going to get a hop, what kind of a hop it was going to be, or it was going to get all the way to him. He did the right thing across the board.
Jack Andrews, he'll chop that foul toward the Concordia dugout. 0-1 on Andrews, the Cadet second baseman, who struck out his only time up in the second. Fry with the windup and the 0-1, and that just missed a little down on the outside corner. Evens the count, 1-1.
So now the freshman gets to hit. Let's see what he does with it.
Oh, it is the freshman. Yeah, it's hitting in Andrews' spot. So he lifts one in the air to left. That's a fly out. Trying to figure out how they flipped the order around here. So Ruffley must have gone to second base. Is that correct? Defensively?
I'm going to wait and see how they trot him out there to see what happened. Could very well be the case.
It was Brad Miller with a little fly ball to left. So now it's Cooper Steele.
And you know what? That's a little bit of a win for Brad Miller because he made some decent contact.
Yeah.
And a freshman in a varsity game, that's good stuff.
It's a good pitcher. So 2 outs, and Steele takes a pitch down and away that makes it 2-0.
Now you think the Concordia hitters are going to be loose, too, because there's nothing to wait on.
Another ball that's hit hard to left on the line, and that will drop in front of Trevor Jarvis. And it's a 2-out hit for the Cadets. Cooper Steele, the 9-hitter, is aboard with a single.
Next up, number 8, Jalen Campos.
Back to the top of the order for the third time through for the Concordia Cadets, Jalen Campos, who's got a perfect day going. Single and score in the first, reached by a walk in the second. Right-handed hitter against the right-handed hurler. Fry goes to the stretch and the pitch, and it's chopped toward the middle of the diamond over his shortstop, Snavely, and a bad throw to first, and it gets by first baseman Noah Hess. And that's going to allow Steele to scamper on to third. No advancement for Campos. He's at first, but it's runners on the corners and an E6.
Hurried the throw. Had kind of a little bit of a chopper that he figured he had to hurry it up a little bit, and he threw it in mid-stride, and that just wasn't going to work out.
And a visit to the mound for the Panthers.
Might be getting a little close to a pitch count situation here. Not that it's against the rules limit, but in the coach's eyes, has he thrown too many?
Yeah.
I want to save him.
Yeah, at this time it's just this point in the season. What has he thrown up to this point? Where is he at in this game? And in a 13-2 contest, you don't want to burn out an arm.
So that probably was just a little discussion. How do you feel? You hope the kid's going to be honest with you. and just leave it at that.
2 outs, first and third, and the high kick to third, and then the fake, the turn to first, and nobody's leading off.
You ever see that work? Very rarely.
Yeah, rarely. And this one grounded, and it squirts into right field. Base hit into score is Steele. And a shot on the ground the opposite way by Rupley, his second hit of the game. And the Cadets get another run on the board. It's now 13-3, and you know what Concordia is thinking. They just don't want to be run ruled in this one. The 10-run rule would be in effect next inning.
That one, the second baseman for Snider just got caught going the wrong way. He leaned to his right, and all of a sudden there was the ball going left, and there's nothing you can do.
So it's Campos at second, Rupley at first, and a pitch in the dirt evens the count up on Jack Belchner. Belchner hit by a pitch and struck out. Officially, he's 0 for 1. It will go as an unearned run. There's a pitch down and away as the runners take off. Now, you don't see a lot of base stealing in a 13-3 game, but both runners going, and it's a double steal, putting them at second and third.
It goes right back to just what you just said. They don't want to be 10 run.
Belchner with a 2-1 count and the pitch. That catches the outside corner at the knees. Good pitch right on the edge for Fry. It's even on Jack Belchner, 2-2. The stretch, the 2-2 pitch. Curveball grounded in the hole left side, backhanded and off the glove of Snavely, but another run scores. Now it's a 9-run lead, and that's a big 2-out rally here in the bottom of the fourth for the Cadets. They may not win it, but a matter of pride and momentum going into that next game, Dean.
Well, you want to get some confidence in your hitters because after the first inning, there hasn't been much going on for Concordia. Now they're seeing some success. Maybe that carries over into game 2 and is a plus that way.
Not just a slow roller that got past the angle of the third baseman, and Snavely was able to get a glove on it, but it goes as a hit for Belchner. So now runners on the corners, first and third for Brody Fisher, the cleanup hitter. First pitch is taken for a strike, 0-1. Fry with the set, and that's a fastball in the outside corner. 0-2 now on Fisher. Fry, look at first, now goes to the set. The 0-2 pitch. Chop towards short. And it's fielded, and an easy step to the bag at second for Snavely, and that will end the rally here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Couple runners are left on base. But the Cadets do score 2, and that makes it a 9-run Snider lead. It's now 13-4 through 4 complete on the PSM Baseball High School Baseball Game of the Week. 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. It is a crowded scorecard as the Panthers come to bat in the 5th inning. 13-4. Snider leads it, and they start with cleanup hitter Isaiah Snively, and he hits it deep in the air to right, getting help from the wind. It's gone. Snavely with his third home run of the year.
That might have gone on any day.
And
that was hit pretty well.
Lead is back up to 10. Snavely's first hit of the game and the 12th of the contest for the Panthers. A pull side home run over the right field wall into the trees. So it's Brady Keck, and the first pitch to Keck a little high, ball one.
Now, Snider has somebody warming up in the bullpen. There's two schools of thought here. Is that the second game starter, or has the starter here piled up some pitches?
Popped in the air, right side of the infield, and his first baseman, Brody Fisher, who calls off the freshman pitcher, and Fisher makes the catch. Of course, that's one thing that's different for people that have watched professional baseball, where the pitcher rarely gets involved with making a defensive play. But in high school baseball, pitchers can call pop-ups. That time it looked like Brett Miller was calling for it, but the wind was pushing it toward his first baseman, and fortunately Fisher eventually called off Brett Miller, made the catch for the first out in the inning, and it's Noah Hess who takes a pitch high for ball one.
And the other thing that comes into play, they're kids. They want to make the play.
The pitch lifted the opposite way, left field. Over is Steele out and left, and he camps under it, makes the catch, and there's two away.
Now up for the Panthers, number 10.
Good rebound after the home run started the inning. You know, that's one of the things with a freshman pitchers. Got to face a little adversity and see how you respond. And Brett Miller facing it here in the fifth with a leadoff homer and now a couple of pop-ups. And with two outs, he's got Trevor Jarvis stepping in. First pitch fouled back. It's 0-1. Jarvis, a couple of hits and a sacrifice fly. The pitch, and it's popped in the air, shallow right field. Voltemeyer has to take a couple of steps back after coming in. That wind really having an effect out there in right field. But Voltemeyer makes the catch, and that retires the Panthers here in the fifth. After the leadoff home run, 1-2-3, down go the Panthers. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Cadets need a run to keep this one going. It's 14-4 Snider, and we'll see a new pitcher when we come back here on the PSM Baseball High School Baseball Game of the Week. 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Well, we might make it up to 50 today, Dean, but it might happen after we're done. 49 as the temperature continues to creep up ever so slightly. We've got some sun shining through here at Masucci Field on the campus of Concordia High School. It is supposed to be 50 coming up by noon, so we'll see. We'll test the meteorologist.
We'll crowd in that a little bit.
Concordia trails at 14-4. The 10-run rule is in effect if Concordia fails to score here in the bottom of the fifth inning. And it's against a new right-hander for the Snider Panthers. William Meeks, a junior pitcher, takes over for Landon Fry. And he faces Nolan Winokur to start the inning. And it's a hard grounder to second, handled by Davis, throw to first. And that retires Winokur with the first out here in the fifth. Well, once again, we're going to be done if Concordia doesn't get a run across. One out, and it'll be Drew Belshner, Cadets catcher. These two teams will play a second game. We've got TinCast Baseball coming your way at 12:45. The pitch, down and outside, ball one to Belshner. If you're wondering, Jack Belshner is the Cadet center fielder. Drew Belshner, Concordia's catcher. And it's Drew batting now. That one chopped off his front leg. And foul at the plate. It's 1-1.
You know, you can almost enter this as Meeks is looking at this as, even though his team's up by 10 runs, like a fake save situation.
Yeah.
If he can hold it down, he can apply the saver type of mentality and apply that to his deliveries.
Fastball, good one on the outside corner, and he's ahead of Belshner, 1-2.
His save will be, okay, nobody else has to pitch in this game.
The 1-2 pitch, curveball. That's high. Evens things up 2-2. Wind up and the pitch, and that's fouled back. Out of play. So we'll do it again. Belchner in the batter's box. Boltemeyer in the on-deck circle would be next. The wind-up and the pitch. Swing and a miss. And a strikeout of Belchner for the second out of the inning. Concordia is down to their last breath. 2 outs. Bottom of the fifth, trailing 14-4 to Snider. And Zane Boltemeyer trying to keep this game alive. First pitch, fouled straight back into the screen. 0-1. Boltemeyer a strikeout and a ground out to third. He's 0 for 2. And he's had an adventure out in right field. The pitch, and that is lifted right side. The wind pushing it into foul territory, and it's out of play. 0-2. Cadets down to their last strike. Down by 10, bottom of the fifth. 2 outs, bases empty, 0-2 count. And the pitch from Meeks. Curveball. Just a little high. Looked like Boltemeyer gave up on it. That ball almost broke into the top of the strike zone. Working quickly, Meeks brings the 1-2, and that's a fastball high, and it evens things up 2-2 on Zane Boltemeyer. The windup and the 2-2. Curveball taken for a strike. That one dropped in, and that will end the ball game. Cadets go down 1-2-3 here in the fifth, and the final score, game 1 of 2 here in Summit Athletic Conference play. Snider 14, Concordia 4. We'll come back, talk about this one when we get back from the break. This is the high school baseball game of the week being presented by PSM Baseball on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM.